everybody, it's Eva here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a really exciting speed build, because today we are building Bridgerton House. Yes, you've heard it right. We are building the actual house from Bridgerton, which is like my favorite TV show at the moment. I'm obsessed with it. I think I've watched season 3 part 1 3 or 4 times at this point. Can't wait to see part 2 of season 3. I'm really hyped about the whole show. I love the whole concept of the show, the idea of the show. I love the actors, I love the plot, I love the love stories, and I am so obsessed with it that I just decided to build it. I really love their house. It's the main Bridgerton family's house, but with a contemporary twist. So on the interior, as you've seen probably on the show, the interior is not so much like, you know, modern or of this time period, because it's obviously set in a Regency era. And yeah, I just wanted to give it a bit of a contemporary twist and just furnish it the way I would furnish it these days. The exterior is true to the actual Bridgerton house, with its 2, you know, rounded side buildings at the front, which makes for a very interesting floor plan, but we tried. And yeah, also the whole exterior features like the front door with its wisteria, because, you know, Bridgerton House is famous for its wisteria. And I really love this wisteria that I use. It's from Plumber Tea Society, and I prefer it to the wisteria that we have from Cottage Living, just because I think the wisteria is just kind of more visible. I think the in-game one that we have from Cottage Living is a teeny tiny bit small, so I think the purple really comes through better in this wisteria that I've used, and I love how it turned out. And I mean, the Bridgerton house would not be the Bridgerton house without its wisteria, so of course I had to include the wisteria. We've also got a beautiful gate at the front, which is by Sibylette, and I think it really fit the aesthetics. It has this really decorative, interesting style, a bit traditional and old-fashioned, so I think it could work very well in London, very London-ish style, and especially Bridgerton. I would love to go see the house in real life. I think it is a teeny bit outside of London, near where was it, Greenwich, I think. I would love to go see it at some point, just because it'd be cool to see it. But I think it might be quite disappointing, because it doesn't have any wisteria most of the year, I think just in May. And yeah, it's not going to look as cool as in the show, I just know that. But yeah, maybe one day I'll go and visit it. That'd be fun. Get some more inspiration for a second time of building this. Actually, I did build a Bridgerton inspired house previously, which was like 2 years ago when the last season dropped. I can't believe that they take 2 years to produce one season. It just blows my mind, and I'm very upset having to think about that. We're gonna have to wait for season 4 for a long time. But yeah, let's not talk about that right now. I really wanted to stay true to the actual exterior this time in this build. So yeah, we are building the Bridgerton house, and I love the exterior. I think it's such an interesting and cool building, and it kind of like kept me going while I was waiting for part 2 of season 3. And I'm hyped about it. I'm very hyped. I can't wait to show you the interior. It's not as blue, you know, there's a lot of blue in the Bridgerton house in the show, but I kept it a bit more neutral, and yeah, quite traditional with a contemporary mix, which is just, you know, how I like to furnish houses, and that's what I like. I'm not keen on that Regency style, as cool as it is on the show and as cool as like the sets and the costumes and everything is. It's not for me. Like, I prefer a bit more contemporary, a bit more modern, but I of course love vintage, so of course had to put a lot of vintage pieces in this build, because as you might know, I really love combining old and new. I think it really gives a house character and also makes it kind of timeless. So yeah, lots and lots of vintage looking pieces in this build. But yeah, let's hop on into the interior actually, because you might have seen me start doing the entrance hall and the main staircase, which is from the Chateau set by Felix, and I love that staircase. Please, Felix, if you're watching this, please get a timber version or some timber stairs as well, because I'm sick of all the other stairs in the game and I've just got these stairs everywhere. So yeah, love those stairs. I think they really play into that Bridgerton feel and the old building aesthetic. And we've got some beautiful timber paneling throughout the house. I did change the wallpaper in the living room as well to match the timber paneling, which we've got everywhere else in the house at a later stage. So you will see that at the end in the tour. And we're kind of giving this whole building quite a British style interior, you know, a bit of heritage, kind of countryside-esque feel. Even though Bridgerton House is set in Mayfair in London, I still wanted to bring a bit of, traditional Britishness into it. And I actually think it turned out really, really nice. Like, I'm really, really happy with it. So in the living room, for example, we are combining some more traditional sofas, which are from SIMS, with some more modern pieces like the coffee table or the bookshelves. Those bookshelves are from the Clean collection by Harry, and I'm obsessed with those bookshelves. I did furnish the whole study with them as well. But yeah, just, the mixture of the old and the new, that old beautiful fireplace, which is also by Harry, together with those more traditional looking sofas. And also I am obsessed with those table lamps that came with the Woodland Ranch set by SIMS. Absolutely adore those, and I think they might be my new favorite table lamps actually. So you will see me use those to death in this build. We also have these beautiful, comfy shearling armchairs, which are from Felix from the new Shop the Look set. And I've been dying to have shearling armchairs in the game for ages. I think at some point I was really desperate and posted on Twitter being like, can anybody do this in Sims 4 please? And Felix did it. Of course he did. Felix and Harry always deliver. So yeah, I'm very excited about those chairs, and they're also dotted throughout the house just because they're such beautiful and comfortable chairs, and I want one myself really. And to fill that little round bit in the living room, which proved a bit tricky, I put a piano in there just stay true to the characters that are in Bridgerton as well, because Francesca and Daphne love their piano, so putting a little reference to the Bridgerton family into the build as well. And moving on into the kitchen now, I really love that kitchen. It's a huge room, but it still feels really intimate and cozy in my opinion. And we're using these beautiful kitchen counters from the Grove set by Felixander. I don't think I've used them before much, but I think they kind of really combine that rustic and old-fashioned element with those black hinges and the black ironmongery on it. I think it looks amazing, and then combining it with some more pared back shelves and the stone backsplash and shelving and stuff like that. So again, bringing kind of the traditional and the modern together and kind of combining two different eras in that kitchen. And of course using my favorite kitchen island, which is from the Munch set by Charlie Pancakes. I don't think I ever use any other kitchen islands, to be honest. I am obsessed with that stone look. I think it looks amazing, and it just brings a bit of texture and interest into a kitchen, especially combining it with these more traditional Grove counters. And we actually have a separate pantry in this house, so the kind of appliances, the main appliances like the oven, dishwasher, anything like that, plus obviously all the food storage, just go into a separate room, so the main kitchen can look really clean and simple, and we only have a sink and a hob there. So then in the pantry you can do all your more messy parts of cooking and just hide them away. Also if you have guests. So and in that pantry we are using the Pantry Party pack by SIMS. That's a lot of P's in one sentence. But yeah, the Pantry Party pack by SIMS, which comes with lots of pantry clutter. Absolutely obsessed, and I really wanted to use it, and I thought this big huge house in Mayfair would obviously have a separate pantry, and they wouldn't bake and make all their foods in the main kitchen. Houses like that, just they have a kitchen but not to be cooked in kind of thing. So yeah, implemented that here as well, and I really love all the clutter that comes with that pack. And also in true fashion of any huge manor or house or whatever you want in the UK, I included a little mudroom in the ground floor where you can drop off your wellies, bring the dog in, all those sorts of things, so you don't get mud all around the house. But let's talk about Bridgerton for a second, without spoilers obviously. I am very excited for part 2 to see what's going to happen with Lady Whistledown and everybody. And let me know, what is your favourite character in Bridgerton? I really want to know. I have a favourite. My favourite is definitely Eloise. I love her. I think she's hilarious. Just her comments just crack me up. So definitely Eloise for me. But yeah, not much longer until we get part 2. I'm just counting down the days at this point. I'm probably gonna rewatch the whole part 1 again, maybe twice, don't know, just to be safe. But yeah, I'm so excited about Bridgerton. I think it's such a cool universe. I love how kind of modern it is, while being kind of set in that Regency era at the same time, but not being that old-fashioned, boring Regency drama that you see every time. It's so much more interesting. I love how it's a little bit like Gossip Girl in a way with Lady Whistledown, and yeah, I'm just a huge fan of the show, of all the actors. I think they're all amazing. Also the music, just heaven, honestly, heaven. I've been listening to the songs from all 3 seasons for weeks. It's literally just the only thing I listen to these days. I am obsessed with it, if you can't tell. I mean, I made a whole video about Bridgerton, so that shows you how obsessed I am. But yeah, moving on. Upstairs, leading from the main kind of hall, is a study. Being a Bridgerton house, it needed a study for people like Gorgeous Anthony to manage the estate, etc. So yeah, definitely included a little study here, but it's got a PC, so yeah, maybe not like the actual Bridgerton study. Moving on to the main bedroom. I love that main bedroom. I really wanted to keep it quite simple. I always feel like I reach for the same types of headboards and bed frames. Definitely yearning for some more, I don't know, cool headboards and more upholstered headboards, and there's such cool shapes out there on my Pinterest and everywhere. So I would love to see that in Sims 4 / made by CC creators, because let's be honest, I mainly use CC. So yeah, Harry, Phoenix, Pierre Sim, if you're listening, that would be something I would be very interested in. But in here, we're using the upholstered kind of bed frame from Pierre Sim's Calderon, which is, I think, my favorite bed, and I do want a bed like that in my own home one day. I love that style. I think it's so cool. To kind of make it more interesting, we've got this really traditional bedding and then lots of art on the walls. And you might have noticed throughout the building that we've got these like clusters of art throughout to kind of create interest on the walls. And I do love combining more traditional looking artwork with really kind of contemporary pieces. So lots of vintage paintings together with some more contemporary pieces and frames kind of makes it interesting to me. I don't know, I just don't like it when it's too one-sided. I think my favorite part of the upstairs is the bathroom. Of course, I'm using lots of new CC in that bathroom as well. I've been using the Soho set by Felixander, which I'm using the sinks of and the dividers for the shower. But so basically what we have is these beautiful floating sinks, this cabinet which is from the shop, the Look set. Again, I love that cabinet. I think it's amazing, and we needed more of those kind of cabinets. I'm really glad. With this beautiful old-fashioned marble bathtub. I love that bathtub as well. I don't use it often enough, but yeah, I think it really fit here. It kind of has this traditional look. But then in the shower, to separate it off, we're using beautiful stone walls and floors. So I think the walls are from the Chateau set, and bring kind of this manor feel into the shower. And we're using the dividers from the Soho set as well. They're a bit more, industrial / contemporary, but I think they really work in this room, especially with the timber paneling on the walls. So yeah, I love how that turned out, and it's like its own little niche. Doesn't splash everywhere when you shower, so yeah, they're perfect. Funny thing actually, if you think about Bridgerton, we never see bathrooms. I thought about this while watching season 3 part 1. You never see bathrooms because they didn't have bathrooms back then. I think they just had like, chamber pots and things like that, but they didn't really have running water and electricity and stuff like that. I couldn't imagine just using chamber pots. I just, no, not for me. I'm glad we've got bathrooms these days. But also then moving on to the kids' room, I really love how playful that kids' room turned out, because I was using a bit more pattern, a bit more colour, so we're going a bit for green in here. Beautiful wallpaper, which is actually from the Cottage Living pack. And then we've got these colourful and like patterned curtains from the Organic set by Felix and Harry, which are my favourite curtains, and I use them to death everywhere, but I don't think I've ever used that swatch before, just because it can be quite full on, but I actually love it. I think it's quite playful, not childish, but it really works for a kids' room. In there we used the Fairylicious kit by Felixander and the Cluttercat, so it's a collaboration between the two. I love that bed, the kind of bunk bed with the castle-esque style. I love it, and I think it fit perfectly for a little, you know, duke or duchess or viscount. Any of those people with fancy titles would feel right at home in a bed that looks like a castle. And then we just have another guest bedroom and bathroom that is a bit more pared back, and yeah, just a bit more simple, but bathroom is basically the same style, just a bit smaller. And yeah, that is basically everything that I have time for today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this speed build and seeing the Bridgerton house come to life with a contemporary interior. I definitely really had so much fun building something from basically my favorite TV show at the moment. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hopefully will see you very soon. Bye!